Hello everybody and welcome to Body, Mind, and Soul. My name is Yolanda Roos and this is your video for Friday. Friday is considered the soul day. So I broke it up. If you watch this channel, it's usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Body, Mind, Soul. Tuesday is going to be your videos that are in like extra information. I just did the rising sun. It might be a little, I did a love reading type of thing. And then Thursday is the planets. So if you go onto my channel, you're going to find the planets that are going to be affecting you for the week going forward. Starting tonight and into tomorrow, I'll be loading all your weekly videos, which would be each sign and the aspects. We do a Celtic cross. And then I do a live shuffling of the cards to get you some live information, which will be like your home, your career, finances, things of that sort. So today is the soul, and we've talked about this on the other days, that the soul is the inner part of you that is connected to God. So with all this stuff going on with our coronavirus, with people being sick, with people not knowing what to do and being stuck in their houses and stuff of that nature, I have a deck and it's called Working Your Light, okay? And this is Rebecca Campbell, and I have a new one coming that's called Star Seed. And star seeds are people that were born specifically from like the Pleiades star area, which has been many different things. They could be aliens, but they're in a different level. But what I'm seeing is a lot of people are referring to them as the angels. Okay, so I'm not sure where they come from. I'm not sure what the whole theology is. We're going to be working on that. I'm going to look into it more. But the idea behind it is that in the 70s, they call it the year of Aquarius, like the song Year of Aquarius. Aquarius was coming into the years of enlightenment. And if you've looked at that video on how to find your rising sun, that the houses fall on a top part is considered the rising sun and the light years, and then anything that's underneath the circle and it falls in those houses, that is considered the dark years. So your soul comes into this being and it lives a life in service to humanity. We spoke about this before. If you want to understand the soul, we do have a video that's posted. If you just look down in the library, you will find it, and it goes through a little more in depth. So the soul is here as a star seed, specifically chosen from this Pleiades angel light based place. I don't know. They say it's in the Pleiades star, which is a group of stars up in a certain area of the sky. But the idea, like, this is what I've read. I don't know all of it. I feel like I could be a star seed, but there's no evidence, there's no proof. There's just things that you feel within you that help you to understand it. And the star seeds were placed in the human beings. They're not aliens. I don't want to say this like crazy, but they were put into humanity specifically with a purpose to raise the vibrations, to be a human being that looks at things without prejudice, without darkness or greed. There's a handful of us that have been born specifically, that we agreed before we came in to be born. This is kind of like we're talking about your soul contract, and there's certain bodies that are walking on this earth right now that are basically light that's come from another galaxy, heaven, angels, whatever you want to call it. There is a group of people that are here that are working to do good, to lift humanity. They're the people that you're like, I just like to be around them, or they're always in such a good mood and you just don't understand it. And they usually start that way and continue through their life, but they will have hardships. I noticed that a lot. Your star seeds will go through a lot of things because they are usually very filled with light. So I feel like they get attacked a little bit, or they have to go through some certain things to grow and mature their soul, and it like activates them in the positive. Our purpose is to raise the vibration. Guys, the vibration is the energy that runs through everybody. It's the energy that is good or bad. It either is a positive energy or a negative energy. It's either a heavy energy or an uplifting energy. They say that when we pray, we put beams of light up to the sky and we raise the vibration of the planet, because our planet is wrapped, it goes around in a circle, and this is even like scientific art. We go around a circle and there's a magnetic pull, there's a magnetic effect. When you go like this, we have a plus and a negative. We as creatures have an ion base, and when we have too much technology, we become too positively charged. And then when we touch the ground or we touch nature, nature is more negatively charged, because negative is like a passive energy, and electronics and electricity is a very aggressive energy that comes through. So when this energy comes through, they would refer to it as a positive energy or a bad energy, or a positive charged energy or a negative charged energy. Because what happens is, like, they talk about grounding, and when you walk on the ground with your bare feet, if you go in the garden and work on your things, if you do things that touch nature, it's called grounding you, because what it does is it takes that overload of positive energy, and when you get embodied by this negative energy that comes off, these negative ions that come off of the ground. Now this is scientific, guys. When you get these negative ions, they come up and they work to neutralize, to put your body in a more pH level. Your clocks and your things work better. They've done studies and they found that being in nature, being on the ground, touching the ground, playing with the ground, that's why they say when you have your animal, when you pet them, you feel better, because they are giving you nature's negative ionic energy, and it's neutralizing when you build up that energy, especially like if you're stressful or you're working in an environment or you live in a city. Cities, that's why it's the best thing. If you live in a city, now I know we're in a quarantine, but if you live in a city, get a plant for your house. If you live in the city, when the quarantine's done, you need to walk in the park. You need to walk and touch physically growing things other than humans. And you need to limit how much electricity is being with you. When you go to bed at night, I'm going to start doing this because this is very important. This is a little off topic, but it's important. You need to charge your phone not near you, okay? You need to put your phone far away from you, because the energy that comes off of that phone is raising your positive energy. And actually, they showed that when they put a telephone charger near things that were growing, they didn't grow as much, and when they put something by itself, it grew double the amount. So you are hindering the growth and the repair of your body when you have your phone on you all the time, or you are charging. It can just be in the vicinity if it's very close to you. So this soul thing that we're dealing with is this energy combined, because remember, the soul is the energy that radiates through your body and keeps it going. Your soul is like your little charge that comes from God. That's why it says, you know, he gives and he takes life, because if he chooses to bring you home, you're going to die. That soul goes home and you're not going to be here anymore. Your mind is the mechanical. It's kind of like you're the avatar for your soul, if you can understand that. You are the embodiment that moves around. But the thing that controls, once you get connected to your soul starts to do things. Once you start living with what you're supposed to be doing and you elevate, you're going to be like an avatar. And you're not going to be upset, because then you're just going to be an empty person, I guess you could say. I don't want to say this the wrong way. Your body then becomes one with your soul, and your soul can manipulate what it needs you to do to finish out what you're supposed to do for humanity, for you, for your soul, for growth, whatever there might be. So this soul searching and this vibration thing, this is what they're talking about with light workers. Light workers deal with the soul. They deal with the vibrations and the energy that comes about, lifting these vibrations, sending out love, because we as a people, we send out and then we receive double. And as we send love out to the universe, we send it out to the people we love, we send it out to the world, then the universe sends it back 3 times as much to us. So when they say the world changes when we change, is because as we decide that we're going to send out positive energy, it's going to send back 4 to 10 positive energies back to me. Now, when my life changes and somebody sees it and they say, oh, well, wow, look at the change, look at how they're doing, then they send out the positive energy, and then 4 to 10 come back to them. And then what you're doing is you're trying to bring a plenitude of this positive energy, this light energy, this, I don't even want to refer to as godly. It is godly, but it's like, it's not dark. Light makes everything illuminated. You see things in the light. You don't see things in the dark. And as this light diminishes, that's where you get the corruption. That's where you get all this stuff. People don't want to go to church. They don't want to pray. Man has distorted religion to a point that people are frustrated and hurt. And they're not sending that love out. They are, as a collective, we are very damaged and hurt right now. I'm sorry, that's just how it is. And what happens is when you don't have enough people lifting the vibration, it becomes oppressive and dark. And you feel like you're living okay, but there's something missing. So your soul has been put here to guide you through this time. And going back to what we said, the star seed is a specific being, whether it be angelic, whether it be from another dimension, another level, another whatever. I'm not going to say the particulars, but when you've chosen to be born, you are born with this uniqueness about you, so that through your life, you can impact the people with positive, regenerative energy. You can be a light in the tunnel. You are going to have people that don't like you. Dark people will not like you because you oppress them. Because the dark doesn't like the light. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. It doesn't like the light. So I've had people, if you're dark, that's why I said dark people will not usually like me, because I am fully embodied with light. And we all have a little darkness in us, don't get me wrong. But the embodiment of what's inside of me is God. I am filled with the light of God. I have chosen God as my master, as the person that I want to have take care of me. I work in light. I think I came from light, basically, so it was easier for me to accept it. When I was young, I'm telling you, 5 or 6 years old, I had an innate understanding that God was above everything. And I went to kindergarten type of things. I think 3 years old, I was going to church. But I remember it was teaching you Bible stories. It was not teaching you like the understanding of God. They just get you ready as a little kid, learning little stories, how you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be bad. Listen to your parents, that type of a thing. But as a very young person, I knew that God was there. My parents weren't religious. My grandma brought me to church, and this church was not bad or anything, but it was like, I just kind of was a little kid that went to the church, but I just knew, and I never had a problem going, and I liked going. I've always loved going to church because I knew that he was there and he was real. You never had to tell me or argue with me that God was real. Never. And I went to church, and I'm telling you, listen, 3-year-olds don't always believe that God's there. So if you are a creature that comes from the glory of God to do good on this earth, you don't question whether God's real. You might question his motives, you might question whatever, but knowing that he is God and knowing that he is there will be in you. That's why they say you need to find something that you strive when you're dealing with AA and things like that. It says in the Bible even, and a lot of things, you are born with the innate understanding that there is something bigger than you out there. Everybody knows, deep down, the soul, basically, that's an epiphany for me. The reason we all know that God's there is because the energy that comes from you comes from God. Your soul is what connects you to God. Whether you choose to connect with it is another thing. So I just got an epiphany, guys. Listen, you are part of my epiphany. The reason we know that God is there because the energy and the soul source that runs our body is what connects us to God. We choose whether we want to connect to it and live our life's purpose. We choose if we want to accept God into our life. But the person that actually keeps you running and alive and gives life and takes life is God. So there you go. We both learned something. See, God works in mysterious ways. So what I did really quick, this is just the end of the video. This deck, I asked God as a group and collective, what do we need to be aware of in this next week or so, this time frame? Because we are going through learning, growing, purging. I really feel this is my opinion. This is not written. This is not anybody's opinion. And I had just spoken to my husband about this. We as a whole world, this is not the United States only, this is not just Italy, this isn't just China. We as a whole of humanity have been forced to stop and evaluate what's happening. We are being cleansed and purged as a full world society. Okay? This is not about what I did, what my husband did, what the lady down the road did. None of this has anything to do with anybody but God or the Supreme Being, the earth, and the people as a collective. I really feel like the reason this is happening is because we are so disconnected from our souls, the things that inside of us that gives us intuition, and we're so wrapped up in this physical world that our souls cannot connect and get our attention. This world that we live in right now is so self-supplying, self-centered, and I'm not saying that I don't have it. All I'm saying is that the theology and the basis behind this world right now is self-serving. Nobody does anything just to do it. There might be a handful, you might have good intentions, but if we were doing it right and we were listening to our soul, humanity would not be purged right now. The people that can no longer live in the vibration that's coming. There's a vibration that's raising, okay? And there are souls. I was told this last year and I kind of like, oh yeah, well, maybe. There are souls that are going to choose not to live anymore because they cannot live in the new vibration. They cannot live because they that were living are from the old, heavy, dark vibration of three-dimensional. We have moved in our astrological position through the Milky Way. Before we were above it, now we are through it. We are technically, they call it fourth and fifth dimension. We are going into a different level enlightenment of understanding. We have come from the dark years, and now if you look at your charts and you know anything about the natal charts, you are coming into the light years. So this awareness, this vibration that is rising, it's a higher vibration, kind of like 4G moves like this, 5G's move like this. It's quicker. It's more dangerous. 5G, that's another thing. It's more dangerous. So when you get this vibration moving and moving quickly and moving more like, woo, this energy, we can't all live in it. I know this sounds crazy. It's not. So what happens is when you as a soul cannot work, you cannot connect to your human body. The soul cannot connect to it. You're so grounded and so heavy, and it's damaging your body. That's why we have our cancer, we have obesity, we have problems. We have all this stuff because we have such a grounding energy. We are so grounded and so low vibrational and so self-serving. We don't think of other people. I'm just trying to help you understand. I'm not trying to talk bad about humanity. It is what it is. We are programmed to be like this. this enlightenment that's happened, and these star seeds, people that are being activated and elevated, and this light, and people are praying in a different way. People are becoming spiritual. People are connecting their souls to their bodies. The people that aren't connecting, they can't live in it. And I said to my husband, there's people that are going to be choosing to go, but not them, their soul, not me. If my soul can't connect to me, it's going to be like, no, we can't do this. I'm not getting a hold of this person. They're just so in their way, and they won't listen to me. So that vibration, and it said people are going to die of heart attacks, cancer is going to be on the rise. We're going to have problems with people. Now, this was my theology. Like I said, just me. We are moving in a higher vibration now, trying, and the people that are dying from this virus have heart problems, immune problems, cancer because of getting their treatments. The people that are older, breathing problems. They're things that are making us weak and possibly grounded, okay? If you are older or dealing with a problem that's in your health, I'm not saying that's because you're a jerk. But I'm saying there are certain things in our body that if we've been stressed, or we're not dealing, or we're not coping, that we can create certain things in our body. Toxins, things that come up because we're not mentally, physically, or whatever being good to our body. Cell phones. We're on our phone too much. Living by the electrical towers. The pesticides. That's part of humanity. Pesticides are killing people because they're cancer causing, and they're destroying the bodies. Food that we eat, the processing, the chemicals. We're too lazy to make food, so we're eating these pre-processed foods. Well, they can only hold for so long. So we're filling our bodies with contaminants because we're becoming lazy. We don't want to do things, or we're in such a hurry that we're not, at that point. So as humanity, when I asked these cards, it said, this was the first card that came out. Trust the niggle. And the niggle is trust your intuition. Listen to your soul. This is about the soul. I said, what does the soul need to, what's it trying to communicate to humanity as a whole? Like, what God are you trying to tell people through their soul? And you know what that's saying? Listen to me. I'm trying to get your attention. This is God, okay? Because your soul is connected to God. And it blew my mind when I saw it, because I'm looking at things in a different perspective. He says, what is the niggling telling you, feeling, I can't even read. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? What is your soul, which is coming from God, trying to tell you? What are you trying to run away from? What are you trying to ignore? This pandemic is going to get out of control unless people figure out what they're supposed to be doing, who they're supposed to be helping, that it's not about them. It's about everybody. People are going out and doing things, and they are not thinking about anybody but themselves. They are going out and exposing people because they don't want to be inconvenienced or have to stay in their house, and I don't care. I'm not afraid to die. But what about the other people that don't want to die? You are being selfish, and I'm not trying to be mean, because listen, I get stir crazy too. But this is talking about, are you thinking about yourself? If I told you to stay home because you will die, would you be able to listen? If you were hearing that and somebody said you need to stay home or you're going to die, and you're like, yeah, but nobody else is dying, and I said, no, I'm telling you, if you leave the house, you're going to die. You need to stay home. Are you going to listen to the niggle that's inside of you? So that's not the actual thing, but it's saying, listen to what God's saying. It's your soul. Listen to what your soul's trying to tell you. Go into some quiet time. It's just telling you, listen to this whole conspiracy stuff. You know what? I'm thinking half this stuff is real. Because my niggle is telling me that, yeah, there's more going on than we realize. There's more going on a higher, lower portal plane. This is bigger than any of you and I. This is humanity. This is society as a whole is just lost. And we need to be found. Because when you blow up all those things on 9/11 in America, people finally found God and they were praying and, oh, you know, disaster. And he says, I'll keep giving you trials. If you won't stay with me, I'll just make your life, I'll make it so that you know who I am and you're going to have to come to me and you can't do it without me. Please, people, please, just accept the fact that he might be there. Just might. I know he's there, but just accept maybe, and maybe you will be able to see what everybody that knows is seeing. Help somebody else other than you. That's what I'm feeling like. The soul is like, they're tired. They want to help humanity, and the souls are just sitting in your bodies going, what is wrong with these people? God, we need to do something to wake these people up. That's what I'm scared of for humanity. Really. All right, the other two cards that came up together, your guidance is divinely guided, Akasha. So, like I said, I didn't even put that together. I just felt this was from God. So he's saying God's trying to talk to you. And then this was the other thing, unbound. See? Look at the pretty pictures on here. Releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. We are at a point of purging and cleansing. This was part of the Saturn. If you go look at any of the back readings and stuff like that, it was talking about being released. I think it was December. I wasn't up by then. December talked about past life things or things that you've done that people are being released. Either you're going to receive your karma in a good way or a bad way, and it's going to like end it. You're gonna accumulate all the things that you've done good or bad. And if you've been, like I said, if you've been a poop head, you're going to get crapped on. If you've been a good person, you're going to get either enlightenment or there's going to be something good or things are going to work out for you. Like, it depends on how you were looking at it. It's not money. It's not finance. It's your heart, your mind. What were you thinking? What were your intentions? Why did you do things? What did you do to people to be good or to be bad to them? Okay, that's what this is dealing with. I think this is the finishing. And if you have not been good or you have things that you're not dealing with, you could leave. And I'm not saying it to be mean. You're not going to notice it. You're going to just go. But your soul, if it can't communicate with you as a human being, their job's going to be done. The last one it gave me is soul family. Now, I pulled a card out earlier and it talked about me. And I think basically what this is talking about is call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. In this time of need, we need to be supportive of each other. And your soul family can be the whole humanity. We need to think of some people other than ourselves, guys. And allow your soul to give you a window, a vision, something bigger than just this, us. Your soul wants so much for you, so many things. It wants you to do great things, because when you do great things, the karma that comes from it is beautiful. And it's even more beautiful when you just give into it and want to help somebody or something or some mind thing or some thought. You pray for somebody. Listen, just praying for somebody is just as good for karma as going and making them a burger for someone that can't get out of the house. Going and mowing their lawn. Helping somebody when they need it. That's what it's talking about. So talk to your soul. Ask your soul to talk to you. I mean, we sleep. It might only be able to talk to you in the subconscious. So maybe when you're sleeping, before you go to bed, say, hey, soul, I know you're a part of me. And I can't hear you right now, but can you talk to me when I'm sleeping? Can you help me to understand what you need me to do? Or what is wrong with me that I'm not hearing you? What am I doing wrong? Why I can't hear you or why I don't feel connected? So take that time at night when you're quiet, whatever, talk to your soul and ask your soul, what do I need to do to be a better person? Thank you guys. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.